Your air conditioner has a button on it that you almost never touch. And I'd bet my whole toolbox that most drivers have no idea what it actually does. That one little button sitting right there on your dashboard, the one you've ignored for years, can make your car's AC cool down twice as fast in half the time. And at the same time, it can save you up to 15% on gas every single tank. Now let me tell you something, and I want you to really hear this. Your mechanic is never going to explain this to you. Never. Because when your AC struggles, you bring the car in, and that's a service call. That's money in his pocket. And the owner's manual, they bury this in one tiny line on page 200 that nobody ever reads. I've been turning wrenches for over 20 years. I've had thousands of cars roll through my bay, and I'm telling you, this is one of the most misunderstood systems in your entire vehicle. So today, I'm going to show you exactly which button it is. I'm going to show you how to use it the right way, because using it wrong actually makes things worse. And I'll explain that too. And then, at the very end of this video, I'm going to reveal the combination of 3 buttons that doubles the power of your air conditioning in under 30 seconds flat, a combo that no manual explains and almost nobody on the road is using. Before we get into it, do me one quick favor. Hit that like button if you've been driving for years without ever really knowing how to get the most out of your AC. It genuinely helps me out. And subscribe, because I'm going to keep teaching you the real tricks the dealership conveniently forgets to mention when they hand you the keys. Here's something very few people know. Your modern air conditioning system doesn't have one mode. It has 2 completely different ways of operating, and which one you're using makes all the difference in the world. The first one is called fresh air mode. In this mode, the system pulls air from outside the car, cools it down, and pushes it into the cabin. Outside air in, cooled, delivered, simple. The second one is called recirculation mode, and this is the one that changes everything. In recirculation, the system doesn't grab air from outside. Instead, it takes the air that's already inside your cabin, cools it again, and recirculates it around and around in a closed loop. Now here's the part that drives me a little crazy as a mechanic. The vast majority of drivers, and I mean the vast majority, drive around all day, every day, in fresh air mode. They never touch recirculation, they don't know what it's for, and by doing that, they're leaving the single biggest cooling and gas-saving trick in the car completely on the table. Recirculation is the key. It's the key to cooling your car down fast, and it's the key to saving fuel while you do it. And once you understand why, you're never going to drive the old way again. Let me paint you a picture. It's a brutal summer afternoon. Your car sat in direct sun for hours, you open the door, and a wall of heat hits you in the face. That cabin temperature can climb to 140, even 160 degrees Fahrenheit. I've measured it myself with an infrared gun. It's like opening an oven. Now, what does almost everybody do? They jump in, slam the door, and crank the AC on fresh air mode. Here's the problem. In fresh air mode, your system is pulling in air from outside. And sure, outside might be cooler than that oven you're sitting in, but on a hot day, outside is still 85, 95 degrees. Your compressor, the heart of the whole system, has to work twice as hard to take that 95-degree air and chill it all the way down. It burns more gas, and it takes far longer to make the cabin comfortable. But watch what happens once you switch to recirculation after the system takes the first edge off the heat. Now it isn't fighting hot outside air anymore. It's only recooling air that's already partly cold. Think of it like a glass of water. Hand someone a warm glass and tell them to chill it. That takes real work and real time. Hand them a glass that's already half cold, and finishing the job is easy, it's fast. That's the entire difference between recirculation and fresh air, and the efficiency gap between the two is brutal. Your compressor works less, you burn less gas, and your cabin gets cold faster. Everybody wins except the guy hoping you'd come in for a service. Step 1. Identifying your recirculation button, because you can't use a trick you can't find. On most modern cars, this button has a specific symbol, the outline of a car viewed from the side with a curved arrow looping around inside it, like a U-turn circling within the vehicle. That arrow tells you the air is moving in a closed circle inside the cabin. On some European cars, you might just see the word recirculation spelled out, or an abbreviation like recirc. Either way, it's the same function, sitting right there on your climate control panel next to your temperature and fan dials, hiding in plain sight. So here's what I want you to do. The next time you're in your car, go look for it, study that panel, and I'll bet you money the little indicator light next to it is off. That means you've been driving in fresh air mode by default this whole time, maybe for years, just like almost everybody else. Some brands like Toyota and Honda put this button front and center, clearly labeled, because they actually want you using it. Other brands tuck it away among a dozen other controls where you'll never notice it. Step 2. The golden rule, and once it clicks, it changes the way you drive forever. When you get into a hot car, the first 2 to 3 minutes you drive with fresh air mode on, windows cracked slightly, air conditioning cranked to maximum. Why start with fresh air when I just told you recirculation is better? Because when you first get in, the air inside that car is the enemy. It's 150 degrees, superheated. Slam it into recirculation right away, and you're just trapping all that scorching air inside and recooling the same furnace over and over. So for those first couple minutes, you flush the heat out. Fresh air, windows cracked, fan blasting, physically pushing the oven hot air out and replacing it with cooler outside air. Then, after those first 2 minutes, roll the windows all the way up, press recirculation, and bring the fan down from max to medium. Now the system is only recirculating air that's already partly cold. The compressor relaxes, your gas consumption drops, and the cabin gets cold faster than you've ever felt it. Fresh air to flush the heat, recirculation to lock in the cold, in that order, every single time. Step 3. The trick pros use to cool down a superheated car in record time. And it's so simple, it almost sounds too good to be true, but it runs on basic physics. And it works every time. Walk up to your blazing hot car, don't turn on the AC yet, leave it off. Roll the driver's side window all the way down, then walk around to the passenger side, open that door and close it, then open and close it again, swinging it shut smoothly for about 10 seconds like you're fanning the car. What you're doing is creating a pump. Every swing pushes a wall of air across the cabin and forces the trapped superheated air right out through the open driver's window. You're physically pumping the heat out with your own hands. 10 swings, and you've dumped a massive amount of that oven heat in seconds. Then get in, turn on the AC and fresh air mode, fan on max, windows still open for about a minute. The moment the air coming out feels genuinely cool, roll the windows up and switch to recirculation, and in about 30 seconds from that point, your cabin is completely cold. No sitting there suffering for 5 minutes, no burning a quarter tank of gas while the compressor screams, just cold air fast. Now here's the combination of 3 buttons I promised at the start. The one that doubles the power of your air conditioning. The one almost nobody on the road is using. Button 1, recirculation, activated. This lets the system recool air that's already cold instead of fighting the heat outside. Button 2, the automatic climate mode, the button labeled auto. Pressing it tells the climate computer to manage temperature, fan speed, and airflow on its own at peak efficiency. Button 3, maximum fan speed. On a lot of cars, you get this by pressing the fan button twice or hitting the button that says max. Stack those 3 together, recirculation plus auto plus max fan, and the system drops into its absolute highest efficiency state. The compressor runs at optimal capacity, recirculation feeds it air that's already chilled, and max fan spreads that cold air evenly through the entire cabin instead of just blasting your face while the back seat stays warm. On cars with dual-zone automatic climate control, this combination can drop your cabin temperature by almost 10 degrees Fahrenheit in under a minute, from 3 buttons most people never press in the right order. Before you leave your car in recirculation forever, hold on, because recirculation has a limit almost nobody knows about, and ignoring it can cause real problems. If you drive constantly in recirculation for more than 30 or 40 minutes straight without ever opening a window or switching back to fresh air, the air inside your cabin slowly fills with carbon dioxide from your own breathing. Since it's a sealed loop, the same air just going around and around, and that buildup can make you drowsy, hurt your focus, and in extreme cases, even give you a headache, the last thing you want behind the wheel on a long drive. So here's the rule. Alternate 20 to 30 minutes in recirculation to hold the cold in, then about 5 minutes in fresh air mode to flush the cabin with fresh oxygen, then back to recirculation, and repeat. On a lot of modern cars with full automatic climate control, the system actually cycles this for you on its own. But on older cars with manual controls, you have to remember to do it yourself. One last piece, a detail almost nobody knows that's a complete game changer in winter. When your windshield fogs up on the inside from humidity, recirculation is exactly what you don't want. I'll say that again since people get it backwards. When the glass is fogging up, do not use recirculation. The air inside your car is full of moisture from your breath, wet jackets, and melting snow, and that inside air is more humid than the air outside. So recirculation just traps and circulates that moisture, fogging the windshield up even faster. What you want instead is fresh air mode, heat cranked to maximum, fan to maximum, and the windshield defroster turned on. Drier outside air comes in, the heat evaporates the moisture, and in under a minute, your glass is crystal clear, which can genuinely keep you from driving half blind down an icy road next winter. Let's bring it all home. 1 button you've been ignoring, 2 modes most drivers never understand, a 30-second trick to beat the heat, and a 3-button combo that doubles your cooling and saves you gas. None of it in the manual, none of it from your mechanic. If any of this genuinely surprised you, hit that like button and drop a comment telling me the make and model of your car, along with whether your climate control is automatic or manual, since that tells me exactly what tricks to teach you next. Subscribe, because there's a whole lineup of hidden tricks coming that dealerships never explain. Secret climate modes, buttons almost nobody uses, and simple fixes that save you hundreds at the shop.